Okay. Stay quiet.
Alright. Good afternoon. Just for an introduction to the video, I'm giving a speech here, and I got a video it for online class. This is a homeschool group from Flagstaff, Arizona, related to a lot of nephews, nieces, and other places I don't know today. So, thanks for coming today. I just want to ask one quick question before we get started. How many of you have heard or even said the phrase, "I pledge allegiance to the American flag"? So pretty much everybody. It's a really common phrase, and this is one of those things. I served in the military quite a while, and growing up, the American flag has been something that's been near and dear to my heart. And I just wanted to share with you guys a little bit of the history of it, kind of the components of the flag, what they mean, and also how to properly take care of the flag, just to show the respect, as we say in that line, "I pledge allegiance." Well, pledge allegiance, we want to give proper respect to the flag to show that allegiance to it. So starting off, the flag was, in 1777, the Congressional Congress decided that they had a need for a symbol for the United States. So they declared independence from England in 1776, and the Revolutionary War didn't really end until 1783. So this was shortly, just a year after the conception of the United States, that we decided, hey, we need something to represent our soldiers, mainly on the battlefield. This wasn't for displaying on flagpoles or anything like that. The primary purpose was to display on their ships or in the battlefield. And the one thing that the Continental Congress decided that they needed the flag to look like is they decided they wanted 13 stripes in red and white, which we currently have today, and 13 stars on a field of blue. No necessary design for those stars or the arrangement. They just wanted those particular components. So as a result, there were actually any number of different variations of the flag that were displayed during the Revolutionary War and beyond. It was just people would make up a flag and say they wanted this representation and made something up. So the one that we're most familiar with is the Betsy Ross flag, which was the 13 stars in a circle pattern on the field of blue. And doing a little research for this speech, always grew up knowing that, hey, the Betsy Ross flag, it was supposed that George Washington came to her, handed her a drawing of what he wanted a flag to look like, and she sewed it. There's a lot of, nowadays, debate about that. So supposedly that there wasn't actually any documentation saying that George Washington actually came to Betsy Ross, and it wasn't even proposed until like 1876 when her grandson said that this is how she came up with this flag. So there's a lot of debate on that, and it's something new that I was able to learn. But that flag, as we know, and led to pretty much a series of other flags, which leads up to what we have today. Overall, there's been 29 official changes to the flag, so every time there's another state, they add one more star, and keep on going. But, so 29 official changes, but there's been over, I think, right around 39 different variations of the flags that were officially flown throughout the years leading up to today. So that's just a little brief history of how we've come to where we're at today. The next point I'd like to cover is just the components of the flag. So as we all know, there's 13 stripes, so alternating red, white, red, white. There's 7 red stripes, 6 white stripes, and you have the field of blue, which is officially known as the Union. So if you ever hear people say the Union of the flag, that's talking about the field of blue with the stars in it. And then we have the 50 stars, so 55 pointed stars. The other interesting fact that I thought, and this is something a little new that I learned, so I always grew up thinking that the colors of the flag actually represented something specific. And doing a little research, it's been affectionately adopted that those colors have a meaning, but it was originally intended that the Great Seal of the United States, that's where the colors actually have meaning. So red meaning valor, white meaning purity, and blue meaning the color of the chief. So not really positive what the color of the chief is. I couldn't really find a definition of that. But either way, that was the Great Seal, and since then that has typically been adopted as the meaning of the colors of the flag. But officially, the colors of the flag actually do not have any meaning. So really the only meaning is the 50 stars stand for the 50 states, the 13 stripes stand for the original 13 colonies of England. So just a little interesting fact. Then moving on, the last subject I want to cover, and this one's the one most near and dear to my heart, is taking proper care of the flag. You go online, and it's super easy to find this nowadays, but you look up, the proper terminology is flag etiquette. So if you look up American flag etiquette, you'll get a number of websites, and it's a big long list of just any number of things that I didn't even know, that there's proper way to post the flag, depending if it's hanging straight up, if it's hanging at an angle, hanging over a street. It's a big long list. I recommend, if you're interested in it, just look it up, see what else. But the few that I want to share is initially with the displaying of the flag. So whenever a flag is being displayed, and it's being displayed next to other flags, the American flag needs to be raised first and lowered last. So it needs to be the first one up and the last one down of any flags. It also needs to be the highest flag in the flag. So whether it's another country's or another state's flag, that's why the Arizona flag is always below the American flag. It can never be on the same height. Whenever you see flags raised at half mast, the proper way to actually perform that is you raise it all the way up and then you drop it halfway down, not just go halfway up. So there's actually a proper way to display the flag half mast. The other one is it needs to always be properly lit. So where there's daytime, you have the sun obviously illuminating the flag, but if it's nighttime and you're going to be displaying the flag at night, you need to have a spotlight on it or a light of some sort to actually show the flag at all times. That way anybody can see it. And the last one I'm going to share with displaying the flag is flag's not supposed to be displayed in foul weather. So rain, snow, it should not be displayed during those times unless the flag is made to withstand inclement weather. So if it's made out of nylon or such like that, it's okay. But if it's a cotton flag, it needs to be lowered so it's not being displayed during that foul weather. And then the next subject in flag etiquette is just the general care of the flag. So we see these flags flying oftentimes everywhere, and they're torn and tattered. You're obligated by official edict, I guess would be a proper word, is that flag needs to be properly maintained, mended into a proper working state or to be able to display appropriately for the United States. And if you're not able to mend that flag, so if it's torn beyond repair, it needs to actually be burned ceremoniously, so with respect. So it's not just throw it in the trash, take it to the dump, or something like that. It actually needs to be burned ceremoniously, which I thought was really interesting. And doing a little research, there are groups that do that every couple months. So the VFW, if you ever have a flag that needs to be burned with respect, the VFW does ceremonial burnings relatively often. There's other groups like some places Boy Scouts will do it too, but VFW is your best option. Other things that are interesting is a flag should never be worn as a costume, a part of apparel, and the only people that are really authorized to wear a flag on their person are military, police officers, and firemen. So people in official duties, they're really the only ones that are authorized to wear a flag. We see a lot of people, they'll wear flags on their clothes. By the rules that were originally placed, that's actually not proper. So, they're wearing it out of respect, which is alright, but just according to flag etiquette, it's different. And the last one is, we should never ever write on the flag, attach anything, symbols, numbers, or anything to the flag, alter the flag in any sort of way. So oftentimes we see these protesters and they'll put their protesters symbol on there. said, there are a number more things that are kind of down this line. And I thought these were the most interesting ones that we experience the most often, and may not necessarily know. Outside of that, really that's all I had to share with you today. I hope you guys were able to learn a little something with whether it be that short little bit of history, a little different bit about the components. For me, learning that the colors actually don't officially mean anything, or proper care of the flag. My main goal here was hopefully to pique your interest a little bit. Go online, look up just a little bit about it. There's a wealth of information online. We don't have to go to an encyclopedia. We don't have to really dig and search for proper information about the flag. And keeping in mind that our history, everything that our soldiers fight for, died for, is in regards to this. So I appreciate your time. Thanks for coming out this afternoon, and I hope you guys enjoy this.
Do you take questions?
I can take a couple questions, I guess. I don't know if
You know how we always have these little flags that fly, little sticks that kids can swing around at the fair or whatever, and they end up everywhere on the ground and in the trash. And is that something that has, I don't know, is that bad?
It's, my understanding is that's actually not an official flag.
Okay.
To me, in my mind, I feel like, yes, to me that stands for the official flag. But technically those are props. They're but I'm not really sure. I did try to look up a little bit about that to get a little more information. Couldn't really find a distinction on what constitutes the official flag compared to these little tools. So, like, also kind of the wearing of flags. Some people will have clothes that look like a flag. Well, it's not an actual flag. So,
So what about T-shirts that 4th of July are everywhere and they have a flag embroidered on there?
as I said, it probably falls under the same thing as technically not an official American flag. The flag actually has official colors, and there's lots of people that make flags for displaying 4th of July and such, and they actually don't have the proper colors. They're not official flags. So where you go to find what makes it official, what makes it, I honestly don't know. So.
Do people ever get prosecuted for not taking care of this flag?
I didn't look into really that aspect of it, so I'm not sure. Alrighty. Appreciate the time. So have a good afternoon.